The final UFC card of the year takes place this weekend, and it's honestly kind of decent for an Apex card, I guess. Today I'm going to go through the entire card, prelims, main event, all of that, and give you my predictions as to who I think is going to win and why. Getting it started with the early prelim opener of Jamie Lynn Horth versus Teresa Bleda. Women's MMA to start, huh? Okay, well, Jamie is 8-2, 5 wins by finish, 2-2 in her last 4, including a loss to Veronica Hardy, which isn't the best sight to see. Teresa is 7-1. She's 11 years younger, and her only loss is to Natalia Silva, who is literally a title challenger right now. This is her first fight since 2023, which is making me a little hesitant to pick her, but I do think she'll get this one done. Her age difference is nice, and I think she's going to be a little bit quicker. I think she's going to get this one done by, the typical women's MMA style, a close decision. Then we got Alan Fry Jr. taking on Guilherme Pat. This is a tough matchup as well. Two big heavyweights. They're like 6'4", 6'5", 265. They're big boys. They got nothing but knockouts going on in their career. They're both making their UFC debut, and looking at their previous fights, Alan Fry has been able to stop his opponents like in the first round much more often than Guilherme, who has a lot of third round finishes. And for that reason, I'm going to go Alan Fry to get this one done by first round KO. I just think he's going to be able to get it done. They're two big boys. They're KO artists. I'm relying on Alan Fry Jr. to get this one done. Then we have Melissa Croden versus Luana Santos. Melissa Croden is a rare breed in women's MMA. She has 7 wins and 6 of them are by finish, which is like awesome because you don't see that often in women's MMA. Luana Santos even has 6 finishes in her 9 wins, which is that it's electric news. It's really electric news. Luana is 11 years younger than Melissa, and it's low-key telling me she's going to get this one done. I'd love to pick a finish here, so I'll go second round submission for Luana Santos and a scrappy little women's MMA fight. I'm down. I'm down for it. Hopefully it lives up to the expectations I've set for it. Then we got Sean Sheriff versus Steven Usblind. Steven Usblind is making his UFC debut after a 16-second knockout in the Dana White Contender Series. Sean Sheriff lost to Junior Tafa, which is literally, that's the only thing I have to see to pick against him. Junior isn't even the better of the brothers, and Justin's terrible. I think Steve Usblind will blitz forward, start quick, and get a nice little first round KO. We've been seeing some decent prospects at heavyweight these last few cards, and I hope Steven kind of adds to that, so we can keep an eye on him. But yeah, it was diabolical. You lose to Junior Tafa, you're losing to everyone. Then we have, oh god, tough name to pronounce. We have Neil Magny taking on Yaroslav Amusov. Real good parents there. Amusov is making his UFC debut with an insane 28-1 record. He has 9 KOs, 11 submissions. So he does like to get finishes in his fights. Neil Magny is tricky though, because if you aren't ranking level talent, he's gonna beat you somehow. It just happens. We saw Nicholas Dalby just beat that other hype prospect, and it feels very similar to this matchup. Neil Magny is an interesting underdog pick here, but I just can't trust him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick Yaroslav Amusov to get this one done, but I will see Magny. I think he's a tough matchup, and I think he's going to be able to make it a decision. I think he's tough. We'll be able to drag it out. I honestly don't mind picking him as an underdog just because he's such a veteran. Yaroslav should get it done, though, right? Right. Okay. Joe Anderson Brito versus Melsik Bogdasarian. God. I used to be saying Joe Anderson Brito is next up. I said he was slept on. I said he was a dark horse. And then he lost to William Gomez. And then Pat Sabatini, who, to be fair, are decent names. But shoot, man, I thought this man was going to run the division. I thought he was going to at least get through William Gomez. Obviously, Pat Sabatini's been looking really good lately, but man, it's had me totally pivoting my opinions on him. That being said, Melsik Bogdasarian is tricky. He's very quick on the feet. He's got clean striking. He last fought against Gene Silva, which was kind of a while ago, and he got TKO'd in that fight. He looked okay to begin that fight before getting embarrassed and emoted on. I'm going to say that this will be fairly even on the feet. And Joe Anderson, I think, has the edge in grappling and wrestling. I think he's going to get this one done. I think it'll be close, but I'm leaning Joe Anderson Brito by decision. I don't think Melsik is all that good and will lose to guys like William Gomez and Pat Sabatini. So Joe Anderson losing to them doesn't scare me too much. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. This matchup is tricking me up as well. Amanda Lemos has fought so much better competition than Jillian Robertson, in my opinion. She's much older. She's looked really bad lately. She lost to Tatiana Suarez recently, where she made some just horrible decisions in that fight. Had a very bad stinker versus Yasmin Lucindo. I just don't think she's all that good anymore. Robertson's been on a tear, and although I dunk on women's MMA often, she's someone I'm actually a fan of because she goes for finishes. She's gritty. She's tough. She's on a 4-fight win streak, and I'm going to trust in her to get this one done. I'll say a tough back-and-forth decision with all the exciting big moments coming from Robertson, because Lemos tends to make things kind of boring and stall things out. I think all the key moments will come from Robertson. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha. Oh, Kennedy, what a confusing career you've had. He's looked solid at heavyweight. Walter Walker looks to be a real deal, and that's who he lost to since moving up. He has a win over Big Chungus Chris Barnett, and Marcus Buchecha is pretty mid. He lost his debut to Martin Boudet, who is a solid fighter and a tough fight to get in your debut, to be fair. I just think coming off of a loss in your debut and having to face Kennedy Nzechukwu next, it's kind of tough. He's been here for a long time. He's been doing his thing. Fought at light heavyweight, he's fought at heavyweight. He has wins against decent guys, and I think he's going to win against someone like Marcus Buchecha. I think he'll get it done. I'll say like second round TKO. Melakaisel Acosta versus Morgan Charrier. Sheesh, this is a banger low-key. Acosta has looked really good lately. He's won 5 of his last 6, only losing to Steve Garcia, who's been balling out. Charrier makes fights fun. Let's just say what it is. He just had that absolute banger with Nate Landwehr. He was getting caught a good amount in that fight, but looks really good. I think Costa would beat Nate Landwehr in this point in time. He's been on a tear. His grappling's nasty. He's good on the feet. I think he's going to take the fight to Morgan Charrier and be able to get this one done by a decision. Morgan's tough, and I think it's going to be a scrap, and you should look out for this as fight of the night. But I am going to lean with Melakaisel Acosta because I think he's actually looked quite good, like low-key ranking level. Cesar Almeida versus Cezary Olasejczyk. Cezary. This is an interesting fight. Cesar Almeida is good. He's only lost to Roman Kopylov, who makes it close against good opponents. Olasejczyk has been on a tear, 4 wins in a row, all by finish. He's got power in his hands. He's much younger. I believe it's 12 years age difference. He's quick, explosive, and dangerous. I favor him in this matchup to use his youth and probably finish Almeida within 2 rounds. I think he's going to be a little bit quicker, and I just think he's going to be too powerful. Then for the co-main event, yes, the co-main event, Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vallejos, and oh man, Giga Chikadze is tricky. He's not quite what he used to be, but Kevin Vallejos is a beast. Chikadze's on back-to-back losses to Arnold Allen, who's top 5 worthy, so it is what it is, and David Onama, who's like good, but not elite in my opinion. That's kind of why I'm leaning towards Kevin Vallejos, because I think Vallejos is at least on the same level as a David Onama. He's only 24 years old, so that kind of scares me because Giga could like unk him, and fraud check him. But Vallejos is insanely quick. He's well-rounded. He beat Danny Silva, who's like a good opponent. He's only lost once, and it was on the Dana White's Contender Series, and it was to Gene Silva. Yes, that Gene Silva, the one that barks everything. As my dogs are barking. I heard Gene Silva and they're barking right now. We have such a good storyline. If Kevin Vallejos wins this and then wins a couple more fights, we'll see Gene Silva versus Kevin Vallejos too in like a title eliminator possibly. That would be fire. Anyways, Vallejos, he's got power. He's got submission threats. He's a beast, and I really believe in him. I think he's super sick, to be honest, and Giga has never been finished in his career. He's tough, and I definitely think he's fought like a lot of high-level opponents. So I will say he survives and makes it competitive, but I think Kevin Vallejos is going to get a very impressive decision and open some eyes. And if he wins this, he'll probably get a ranked opponent, honestly. And for the main event, it's honestly a banger. Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. Oh my god, this one hurts. I love both these guys so much. Pause. Manel Kape is low-key my GOAT. He's tricky, he's insanely fast, and will give trouble to Brandon Royval. That being said, Brandon Royval is a dog. Literally. He only loses to the best. He lost to Pantoja. He lost to Joshua Van. That's it as of recently. Kape being a minus 300-something favorite is absolutely ridiculous right now. If anything, Royval should be the favorite in this one, in my eyes. I was having a weird feeling of Kape winning this one for quite a while, actually. I just kind of felt it. But as the fight approaches, I think Brandon Royval is going to get this one done. It would be better for the UFC if Kape won, honestly. You can throw him in the title mix. He's a big name at flyweight. He's exciting. He's unhinged. You never know when he's going to throw out the F word. Royval, he's gotten a lot of chances. He feels like a gatekeeper. I love Raw Dog. He's slick. Kape doesn't have a strong enough grappling game to make me worry, and even if he did, you got to realize that Royval was literally giving problems to Pantoja with the scrambles and shut down Tetsuo Taira entirely. I just think Royval is too good on the feet, and with that being said, this is where the fight's going to stay, on the feet, You have to be like a Josh Van if you want to win a striking match with Brandon Royval, and even Van was debatably it was close. If he didn't get that knockdown with the last 10 seconds in the third round, they might have given that fight to Brandon Royval. It was that close. And I just don't think Manel Kape is a Joshua Van. He doesn't have the same output. I could see Kape being a little bit too quick, maybe winning the first or second round, taking them both, making people nervous about their parlays. But I think Royval, all around, his cardio is going to win in this fight. I think he's too slick on the feet. Kape's going to be a little bit faster, but Royval just makes fights gritty. He's going to get in your face. And I don't think you're going to be able to avoid punches when he's 2 feet away from you, So I'm going to go Brandon Royval. 48-47 decision with a banger to end the UFC's year. Right now, I'm leaning Brandon Royval. I would be happy. This is one of those fights, though, that I'm going to be sad either way and happy either way. But those are my picks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you got winning? We're going to have quite the layoff until 2026, but it comes back with a bang. I'm trying to make some videos in the meantime. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.